She had only lived in the neighborhood for a week when the HOA sent cops to her front door. The accusation? That she didn't belong. Neighbors peeked through blinds waiting for her to crumble. But when the door opened, the officers froze. Because walking out behind her wasn't fear. It was her husband, a decorated officer in full military uniform. What happened next left the entire HOA speechless. The neighborhood was the kind of place where appearances mattered more than kindness. Rows of freshly painted homes, perfect lawns trimmed with military precision, and the homeowners association, the silent ruler of it all. To outsiders, the community looked picture perfect. But behind closed doors, the HOA was notorious for its strict rules and unwritten prejudices. It was into this world that Alicia Johnson, a proud black woman in her 30s, moved with her young daughter. Her husband, Captain David Johnson, was overseas on active duty at the time. Alicia had chosen the house carefully. It was safe, near good schools, and most importantly, it was meant to be a fresh start. But from the very first day, whispers began. At first it was small. Neighbors avoided eye contact. One woman muttered, "Do they really own that house?" Another man whispered to his wife at the mailbox, "Probably renters." Then the letters came. "Your garbage bins aren't community compliant. Your car is parked 2 inches outside the designated space. We haven't received proof of ownership." Alicia was stunned. She had all the documents. She had followed every rule. But the harassment escalated. Karen, the HOA president, was leading the charge. A sharp-tongued woman in her 60s, she believed she was the gatekeeper of the neighborhood. And in her mind, Alicia didn't belong. One evening, Alicia was cooking dinner when she heard the knock. Not a neighborly knock. A hard official pounding. When she opened the door, 2 police officers stood on her porch. Their cruiser lights flashed against the freshly cut lawns. "Ma'am," one officer said, "we received a call from the HOA. They're questioning whether you have the right to live here." The words hit like a punch. Neighbors had gathered outside, watching, some filming with their phones. Karen stood smugly with folded arms, lips curling in satisfaction. Alicia's hands trembled. She had done nothing wrong. But she knew this wasn't about rules. This was about her. The officers asked for her ID. Alicia complied, voice steady despite the lump in her throat, but Karen stepped forward. "She's lying. People like her don't buy homes here. She's squatting." "I demand proof." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Alicia's daughter clutched her leg, eyes wide with fear. And then, the sound of boots on the hardwood floor echoed from behind. The front door swung wider. Out stepped Captain David Johnson, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in full military uniform, medals gleaming under the porch light. His posture was unshakable, his gaze sharp. The officers stiffened immediately. One even saluted instinctively. Karen's smug grin vanished. David's voice cut through the night like steel. "Is there a problem here, officers?" The taller officer cleared his throat. "Sir. No, sir. Just responding to a call. Everything appears to be in order," Karen sputtered. But she doesn't." David stepped forward, his boots striking the pavement with authority. "My wife lives here. My daughter lives here. I live here. And I've spent my life defending this country so they can live in peace. Now tell me," he looked directly at Karen, "who exactly are you protecting?" The street fell silent. Neighbors shifted uncomfortably. The officers exchanged glances, embarrassed. Even the kids who had been recording lowered their phones. Karen's face turned pale. For the first time, she had no words. David wrapped an arm around Alicia, pulling her close. "You will not harass my family again," he said firmly. "If you do, I'll take this all the way to court. And trust me, I'll win." The officers nodded respectfully before retreating. The crowd slowly dispersed. Karen turned and scurried away, her authority crumbling with every step. Word spread quickly. By the next morning, the story had raced through the neighborhood. Some neighbors who had once whispered began to avoid Karen. Others quietly apologized to Alicia. Within weeks, the HOA board faced an emergency meeting. The harassment claim had gone viral online. Karen was voted out. New leadership stepped in, promising fairness and equality, and Alicia, she finally breathed again. For the first time since moving in, she felt truly at home. This wasn't just about one family. It was about dignity. The HOA thought they could intimidate Alicia into silence. They thought prejudice would go unchallenged. But when truth walked out in full uniform, it silenced lies louder than any argument could, because respect isn't granted by an HOA. It's earned through service, sacrifice, and integrity. Narrator voice softens. Inspirational music swells. So the next time someone judges a neighbor by the color of their skin, remember Alicia's story. Because sometimes the person you doubt most is married to the very hero who protects your freedom.